What's up everybody, Sifu Singh here. I'm at one of my favorite places in the world, at one of my favorite places to train. I'm here on vacation on the island of Oahu in Hawaii, in Honolulu. This is the UFC gym, BJ Penn. I've been coming here since 2013 for my traincations. And what I want to share with you here is the art and science of hitting the heavy bag. Because there's so much more to training that you can get out of than just punching and than just a workout. It's about a all-inclusive body, mind, breath, spirit training that we want to do. When we approach things by training them from the body, mind, breath, and spirit, and all those elements are being trained, because those are all the elements that make you up, your craft, whatever you're doing, is going to be exponentially better. Most of the time when people train a craft, for example here, maybe boxing or whatever martial art that you do, or whatever job, career that you do, people focus on the craft. But when they focus on the craft, they can get distracted. When they focus on the craft, you can get only so good. We want to develop the individual taking part in the craft as well as the craft itself. So your body, your mind, and your breath, your awareness of time and space, and your craft together, when they're trained together holistically as one whole and total unit, you're going to extract a great freedom out of it, a great expression out of it, a great amount of presence out of it. And that's what I want to share with you today. All right, folks, the first concept that we have to take into consideration, I'm going to share with you the 4 secrets of the mind. Whenever you're doing a solo training practice, how you can get the most out of your solo training practice is to make sure that the 4 secrets of the mind are being trained. Number 1 is imagination. Number 2 is sensation. Number 3 is intention. And number 4 is attention. These 4 pillars must be trained, because when they're trained, you're going to get the most out of your experience. These 4 pillars also take you into the observer. I want to notice the noticer, and I want to be aware of who is training. I don't want to get so tunnel visioned into something, or the time, or the round, or the technique, that I forget about myself taking part. I want to work the observer, the awareness, so I can weaponize my awareness. So when I do get in a fight, or when I have to approach chaos outside in my life, I can approach it from the observer and not get tunnel vision in my mind. It's very important that when we approach things like boxing, this is a mind boxing match. There's a physical aspect and there's a mental aspect. If you train them both by training the imagination, that means in my mind, I'm seeing my opponent. Even if I'm shadow boxing, I'm seeing a jab come and then I fire a shot back. I'm seeing someone. I can visually imagine who is in front of me, how tall they are, how big they are, what lead they fight in, what style they fight in. I'm using all these assets to train my mind, my imagination, because the imagination leads the mind and the mind leads the body. When I have and invoke that imagination, I can create an emotional sensation. So when you've been out there and you've sparred before with people, and you've been in situations and circumstances where you felt pressure, where you felt fear, where you felt stress, where you felt anxiety, you can bring them all into this moment. This is what we need. Think about it this way. Something bad has happened to you in your life before, and it happened 20 years ago. But when you think about it right now, it makes you feel just as bad. That's the same power we can use in training. You might have had a sparring match 20 years ago where somebody shovel hooked you to the body, and you feel that pain of what that's like, or you feel what it's like to lose your breath, or you feel what it's like to panic against somebody that's pushed you to that limit. You can conjure that emotion by using your imagination and creating your imaginary opponent in front of you. If these things are not there, it's empty. You're just throwing hands. You're just doing techniques. So you're only going to be limited to the physical realm. So once you have invoked your imagination, who's your opponent, what do they look like, what's their emotional content, how does that make you feel from a past experience you've had, then from there, that's what you focus your intention and your attention. My intention is that that's who I'm fighting, this is the emotion, and I want to be in time and space and be the observer. And my attention is on executing my techniques and my strategy. This way you're bringing a holistic approach, a whole and total approach to bringing yourself into the center, so your entire being is being trained. You're not a human doing and you're not a human thinking. We want to train the human being. So we want to train our craft, our mind, our body, our breath, and our emotions. When all of that's trained together, you will reach the stillness. All right, now that you've got your head your torso, and really with your core, I want you to think of your lats connected to your glutes, connected to the ground. Once you have that already, you're used to walking and connecting your body to the ground. Now you start to add the punches. When you start to add the punches, I also want you to start focusing on your breath, that you start to learn to breathe in and out as you're punching and retracting. Or sometimes you're breathing in as you're punching out. You're learning to coordinate your breath with your hands, so you're not holding your breath. That's very important. Oftentimes I see people, they start to train and then they just start to go all out, ha 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 ha, and they empty the tank, and then they have to take a lot of breath to come in to recover, and that's not gonna be no good. The goal is that you don't get tired. Remember, when you're training this kind of method of training, you will of course get a training session, a workout, but this is not a workout, this is practice. You wanna work out, swing the kettlebell. Do lunges, do squats, do push-ups. Do that stuff and push yourself out on those exercises. When you come here, you're working the whole body, total idea of the mind, body, breath with the craft of boxing. And so you never want to lose your breath. That's the number one thing, because the breath is the king. Okay, so as you watch, as I start to warm up and add the punches, notice my head movement, notice the shifting from my hips. So a good drill you can start is just to kind of go like this. Bang, 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 bang. Okay, if you notice what's happening, I'm dropping. As I drop, the punch goes out. Drop, the punch goes out. I'm teaching my hands to go out with the drop of my feet. Because what the idea is that in and down equals up and out. So when I drop, gravity sends a wave that comes back up, out my hands. So that's what I'm really doing here. I'm dropping. I'm dropping. Change your lead. I'm dropping. Bang, 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 bang. That's why you see people running like this. That's the idea. I just learn to drop and bounce. Drop and bounce. Bang, bang. So see, now it's easy. My punches are coming as a result of my drop down and the free bounce, or the free energy that shoots up my legs, muscle radiation, the alignment of my bones, and out my hands. So I'm not, you see people punching like this, they're arm punching. There, my whole body is punching because I'm dropping and I'm starting to hit with gravity. If you notice, my guard, my hand is always up, and I just start to be flowing smooth, flowing smooth. The next thing you'll notice, I'm not clenching my fists. Sometimes I see people start clenching their fists and they go, You're creating tension when you clench your fist. So if you clench your fist before it goes out, half the energy is coming in. You want to be relaxed. At the point of contact, bang, the fist closes and then it lets go again. That's what we want. In Tai Chi, we say, it's like you're holding an egg of a bird in your hand. Your hand's open, bah. You're staying smooth, relaxed. Think Muhammad Ali. So you're bouncing, your head is moving. Next, you start to, as you bounce, start to shift and add your hips. When you shift and add your hips, look, my head starts to move. My head is not moving like this. My head is also not moving like this. My head is moving because of my hips. That's what gets me offline. That's what allows me to weave. It's my head. Now when we look at my other hand, it stays right here on the center line. I don't necessarily always want to put it here because I leave this open. If you're boxing, sometimes you get used to that guard. You leave this open because you have the glove. And so we want to make sure that we can box. This works for boxing also, but also the street because it closes off your line, the center line, okay? So from here, I start to bounce. I get this idea. I get a little twist in my hips. I feel the ground. Bang. Sometimes I throw jabs, uppercuts. Now I start to move my head. Bang, 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 bang. Give it a try. All right, now that you're sufficiently warmed up, I also highly suggest you skip rope. Before I ever get on the heavy bag, even before I shadow box, I do a lot of rope. I do at least 15 minutes of rope. My preferred method is using the WEC rope. So if you don't know about that, check out wecmethod.com. Check out the WEC rope method. Maybe we'll do a video another time on that. But that's really gonna get you warmed up, loose, and ready to go. Then you got a shadow box. You can see I'm sweating. I'm in the ready condition to start. My mind is ready, my body's ready. Now the first round I'm gonna do here is get used to making impact. When you hit a heavy bag, there's 4 P's. There's power, there's placement, there's precision, and there's psychology. Power we worry about later. Precision and placement is what we want to think about. So placement is the part of my fist that's making contact with the bag. I want to feel my knuckles go through the bag, and my knuckles are what's making the contact through my gloves into the bag. That is called the placement, okay? Then the placement on my hand. Then the precision is, where am I hitting on the bag? Am I being precise by hitting my targets, all right? And then psychology, that's our whole mindset. The part about the imagination, the part about the sensation, intention, and attention. That's your psychology that you're gonna approach this with. So the first round here is the warm-up round, where you just get used to hitting with your body, okay? And you're not worrying about moving too much. You just kind of go boom, boom. You're coordinating, see the drop. And when I hit, there's a drop. There's a drop, but I want it rhythm. I want a rhythm. I keep my chin tucked. I want a rhythm. Bang, bang. I'm not trying to hit it hard. I'm trying to find the placement. My knuckles are going through the glove, through the bag. I'm breathing, as you can see that I'm talking. Okay, and I'm just kind of dropping. I'm dropping. I'm dropping. I'm dropping. I'm keeping my punches in tight, tight, tight. 1, 2. I changed my lead, and I just keep it going. I want a volume to really warm up my arms, my shoulders, and the idea of keeping my structure, my chin tucked, my relationship with the ground tucked, and most importantly, my breathing. So as you can see, I'm throwing and I'm breathing because I'm talking. That's very important. I'm trying to stay balanced, okay? Give it a try, that's round 1. Okay, so for round 2, I want you to warm up your jab, jab, cross, okay? So it's 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. Sometimes it's 1 and 2. Sometimes it's 1, pause, 1, 2. You see what I'm saying? So you're playing with the different rhythms of a jab, then a jab and a cross. Now here's where the imagination is really important, and when you do your jab, you don't want to come up and do your jab like that. Because if I jab like that, Officer Burton, can we borrow you? If I jab like this, bang, that's coming right here. And I kept my head this way, and my head didn't get off the line. That's very important. So if I'm jabbing a jab, I throw a jab like that, I'm not doing me any good, okay? So when I throw the jab, my head can be in a few positions, and I practice all these positions. Because the other thing too, when I throw a jab, is I don't want to always do the same thing, okay? So for example, if he jabs, and every time I slip my head to the outside, he knows next time he fakes the jab and hits me with a cross, bang, over the top. Because I've given him my rhythm, okay? So what I want to do is when I throw the jab, sometimes I'll put my head to the outside, but see, I see this covered. Other times I put my head to this side. Other times I drop low. Other times I lean and close. So see, I'll close this way. Then I'll go out to the outside. I'll go to this side, or I'll go low. But you see, every time my head moved off the line, my head moved off the line, my head moved off the line, my head goes in the center, but I see my shoulder covers, and I just cover and I shoot the jab this way. So that first jab is a probe. And in my mind, I'm imagining my opponent's there. Are they left lead or are they right lead? What's their response? Is it a parry or is it to fire back? So when I throw that first jab, bam, bam, you can see I throw the jab, I slip, I fire across and come back with a hook. That's another round, but you can see that's one shot. But if you see what'll happen here is if I throw the jab, I slip, I can jab the body and come back up to the head. I throw the jab, I get out of the way, jab, cross. So you can see if I jab, my imagination says the jab's coming here. I step out of the way, I jab, and I come back with a cross. I might jab, catch, jab, cross. I might jab, slip, jab, cross. I might jab, go under, jab, cross. All of these options are there, but you don't just randomly do it. You have to see it, okay? So now I'll work it with my imagination, all right? right, now let's work a little bit on power. All right, so we want to work power with the lead and the rear hook, and we want to do a big roll so we learn how to generate the power. This is like the Dempsey roll, okay? So as I roll, and I come back, see? So when I roll, I hit and I can come back. Or I roll and hit through and I come back. Those give me two options. When you roll, you can come up, come down, and come back. Roll, come through, come to the body, come up. You're trying to dig inside. So you're exaggerating the motion, so you roll. And if you notice, look where I come back to here, I'm loaded to come back up high. Okay, so here, I roll, bam, I roll through, roll all the way. That's what we're looking to do, okay? If it's my rear, it's the same thing. I'm gonna roll, 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 so roll, roll back, roll, roll through, roll, and light it up. Digging with your punches. Imagine that the organ you're hitting inside is a rotten tomato, and when you hit it, it explodes. All right, this time we're gonna do the 45 pivot, okay, to the outside, and then pivot back into the inside. There's great inside footwork that allows you to get in on your opponent and not get hit because you're a moving target. Remember, when you're moving your head arbitrarily to help load your weight so you can shift and move with power and hit with power. I don't wanna just move my head responsively to somebody throwing jabs and crosses at me because then they can time me, and then I'm behind, I'm late. But if I'm always moving, and the moving is also helping me load and shift my weight and cut my angles, then I'm a moving target and I'm harder to hit. That's the concept behind it. That's if you look at Mike Tyson, you look at Lomachenko, that's what you're gonna see. Okay, so from here, from my guard, I shift out and I shoot a jab. But as you see, when I shift out and I shoot the jab, I'm covered. Now from here, I weave under to the right side and I load the right hip, turn around, blow up the body. After I blow up the body, I come back to that same side to come back to the center. That's the idea, okay? Okay, let's take a look and see what this is gonna look like on my opponent. If I'm in a right lead and he's in a left lead, we'll take a look at this idea. Okay, he's conventional, I'm this way. So what happens is, I'm always moving and I always have my guard up here because he's gonna be firing. He's always gonna be firing. So what I'm looking to do is do that. That's what I'm looking to do. So if you see slow motion, as I come here, okay, you see that? Then I drop to the side, shift, bang. If he covers that, bang, you can't cover that. Okay, do you see what I'm saying? And then after this, I just shift and bang, come back this way. So see this again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What comes after is later, but it's the footwork that gets me to the outside. And then how I bring myself back in. Okay, see this slow. 1 to the side. Okay, then I turn, hit, come back. There's the idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the idea. Bang. Okay, that's where we want to work. That's how we're cutting to the outside. That's going to make it work. If he's the same lead as me, it will still work. Bang, bang. You just got to watch for his cross. That's the thing. So as I go here, see, That's why you need this first shot here. See, there's no cross. Now underneath, I come to this side. I turn as he's readjusting. He gets it in the body. He can get it in the host kidneys. Then I hit him back on the top as I come back over. Okay, let's take a look and see what this looks like on the back. And remember, when you practice one, you gotta also practice the other side as well. Just as important that to make sure that you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the other side. Shift to the other side. It's very, very important that you can change sides. So I'm just gonna riff on the bag a little bit, do some extra follow-ups with what's natural. You see I started to combine some of the other ones from the previous rounds. Make sure you're breathing. Make sure you don't lose track of time and space. Okay, I showed you how to pivot to the outside. Now let's pivot on the inside. If you notice, when I pivoted to the outside, I threw the jab, I dropped, I turned, and I lit the body up with a body hook. Bang. Okay, I could follow up, bang, bang, load, and come back. That's how I came back to the center. Now from this same side here, I can drop to the left, stay covered, pivot on the inside, bang. You can either take a shovel hook to the body or an uppercut. Now, if you notice when I work the uppercut, you could work it like that, that's okay. But I want this uppercut line to be here, straight up, okay? So from one of my teachers, the great legendary Superfoot Bill Wallace, I learned to work that uppercut on the heavy bag, riding it straight up. You could hit the shovel hook to the body, or you could ride the uppercut straight up. So you are doing the straight line, and you're not doing like a 45, okay? So check this out. So the last one I went bang, I went to the outside body hook, come back here. Now I come to the other side. You see that? So as I drop to the left, I pivot, bang, drop back, come back out, okay? So see that again, this way, bang, versus this way, versus this way, versus this way, versus the other way. You have to be able to go both ways. When you go to the inside, shovel hook or uppercut. When you go to the outside, body hook, okay? Stick with me and I'll show you how it looks like on a partner. So from here, if you notice, I come to the outside, bang, that was the one earlier, all right? And then as I shift to the outside, I can come back in and shift on the inside. Now coming this way, I slip this way, see that? And then I just pivot, there's the body shot, there's the uppercut. Keep this hand up. So when I pivot on the inside, see, I keep this hand up if his hand's on the inside. I also have to be aware that, what if when I shift this way, he hooks? Hook, hook, lead hook, yeah, there you go. He hooks, bang. So I've got to keep this hand ready. But that's why that's important. See, this hand is important. That's why that first jab is important to see which way he's going. So when I jab, I see that. Now, bam, I can come in because I keep the guard up. I don't want to just blindly step this way into here and keep my hand down. So as I do this, see, I drop low, man, I can come in on the inside, but I keep the hand up. If I want to go to the other side, I'm going to come over here this way. Okay, so see, boom, bang. And I always like to monitor his hand. See, he's either going to hook me or he's going to jab me. If he jabs me, bang, that's the idea. See it again, bang. Okay, if he hooks, that's the, I see when I jab that, oh, he's going to hook. Bang, come on the inside. On the other side, when I jab, see, he could jab. That's why I have to go here under the hook cross. That's important. Here, under the cross, drop and blow up the body and come to the head. On this side, I come bang. I like to slip under and hit, load the body, come back to the head, and stay guarded. But what makes all this stuff work is the basic footwork I've been showing you. Pivot to the outside, pivot back to the center, pivot to the inside, pivot back to the center. When you get to pivot, which is your mobility, you can work your artillery after, okay? But it's all about the fundamentals. Stick with me, I'm gonna come show you one of my favorite rounds. Okay, this next round is really gonna help you with your footwork and your ability to change and attack and flank your opponent equally from both sides by switching your leads. What I mean by switching your leads versus changing your leads is two different things. You could be here like this, and then all of a sudden you go like that. That's called changing your lead. Switching your lead is if you're moving in one combo, you're switching. You're switching in a combo. So you're not taking a pause and going bang, 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 bang when they see it. You're switching around your opponent. So when you think about that, you see people who do this really well. The great Dominic Cruz, who I've had a chance to meet with and train with, and he actually broke this down to me the first time. And then if you add some Filipino Kali principles to this, you start to see the female triangle going like this, okay? There's a female triangle that I'm following, all right? So there's a little bit of an ollie shuffle. There's a little bit of a female triangle. I'm gonna put all these together, and you have a very good movement exercise that'll give you the mobility to switch and change against your opponent, and also not come at them with one solid stance that they can start to read and pick you off. You gotta remember something. When you're fighting somebody better than you, they're gonna track you, okay? If you try to outsmart somebody tracking you, if they're better than you, guess what? You can't do it because they're better than you. You can't out-track somebody that's better than you, okay? So you have to know that they're tracking you and they're tracking your patterns, but you have to be able to seamlessly adapt and change your patterns already so that you don't have a pattern. The best way to not be tracked is to not have a pattern. If you have a pattern and somebody's tracking you, try to change that pattern in the fight, it's gonna be really late. So that's the whole concept of being like water and flowing and being adaptable and almost getting to the point where you don't have a stance. That's what we wanna see. Can you fight with no stance? In the beginning, you gotta learn one stance, you gotta learn another stance, but then in the end, you should have no stance. That's the formlessness that we're looking for, and this drill will really help you, okay? So let's see. When you start here like this, the first thing I want you to just start thinking about is your footwork, okay? So the very first part, we start off with the 45 switch like we did last time, where we drop, turn, hit, okay? Now we drop, come back. When you come back, go 1, 2, switch to the other side, hit, drop, 1, 2. See, this is your ollie shuffle in the middle. That's what allows you to transition. So I'll show you this. To the side, hit, back, okay? Again, to the side, bang, come back. Now when you come back, you slide here. It's a pendulum back. From here, 1, 2, drop, turn, hit, pendulum back. 1, 2, drop, turn, hit, load your weight, pendulum back. 1, 2, drop, turn, hit, pendulum. But when you pendulum, don't let this foot drop. So when I come here, after I've hit this is up, and it's gonna go 1, 2, as I switch to the other side and blow it up, okay? So I'm just gonna do it a little without talking. You start to express yourself. Give it a try. All right, let's finish this round, the last round, with just freestyle. Work everything you've got. Honestly, express yourself. Watch your breath. Watch the up and down of going too fast or too slow. Most importantly, be smooth and have fun. Don't lose track of time and space, yeah? Give it a try.